Bitcoin is about to do something for the first time in over 1,000 days. The last time we did it was all the way back in 2019, and the only other time in Bitcoin's entire history that we did that was 4 years earlier in 2015. You can see that cross right here. We're going to explain what this means. It's pretty monumental, so you better buckle up. If you're new here, my name is Steve. I'm here to actually help you. I got into the stock market a little over 20 years ago and got destroyed. I figured out how to dominate this game, and I'm here sharing my knowledge with you so you don't have to go through all the painful and ridiculous and silly and stupid mistakes that I did. Hit that button right now, hit that subscribe button, and join the movement. Today's video, I'm going to give you this synopsis here. It's pretty fascinating what we're looking at, and I'm also going to give the latest update on this chart. I know you love this chart, and I'm going to give some latest updates on this chart. Brand new developments happening. This market moves very quickly, so let's get to it. We have a green line and we have a red line. The green line is the 50 MA. The red line is the 100 MA. We are on the weekly chart, and you can see that these lines don't cross very often. They usually cross 2 times in each market cycle. That happened 2 times in this market cycle, 2 times in this market cycle, but only 1 in this cycle. Why only 1? Will we have a second one? And what does it mean? You can see that we're getting close. We are crossing as we speak. We're crossing as we speak, but what does it mean? Now, in order to really judge that, we've got to look at the data point here in 2019, the first one, and we have to look at this data point in 2015, this first cross here. And we have to understand when in the cycle did these happen, and is there similarities between these 2 data points? And once we dig into it, there's something really fascinating that we can see. Once we dig into it and we say, okay, in 2015, we had this cross here, which happened about midway through our bear market, meaning our bear market bottom, right? When we were just forming our base, this cross happened about midway through. Let's see what happened in 2019. Okay, this cross happened, roughly midway through, right? You can see this base that we were forming here, this bottom from here to here, this was about midway through. And what's interesting is that they were both midway through, and what happened the second half of that bear market was Bitcoin battled the second half of this, meaning after this cross, up to this green line. So in 2015, we had this cross relatively in the middle of this bear market. You can see right with your eyes here. Even if you don't know much about charts, you're like, yeah, that looks to be about the middle. In the second part of this, we rallied up to this green line. Pretty interesting. What did we do in 2019? Well, we had this cross and somewhat right in the middle, and then we spent the second half of this bear market rallying up to the green line. Okay, well, let's look at 2022. Does it meet any of the criteria that we had in 2015 or 2019? Let's take a deeper look. 2022, we're having the cross as we speak. Could we have potentially bottomed? Potentially. We'll leave that discussion on the table. I'm going to get to that. Have we bottomed or have we not with my latest opinion in a moment. I know it's not popular to say that we have bottomed, but let's hypothetically say this was our bottom. This cross would be potentially midway through, meaning we might spend close to about 3 months rallying up to this green line, which seems like light years away. Now let's break it down. If Bitcoin, we're going to spend, we can just take a measure move here. It's 84 days. So we'll call it 3 months to keep it even, right? If we were to spend the next 84 days, it brings us to about November, the end of November this year. So the end of November this year, could you see Bitcoin rallying all the way up to this green line? I think it's quite possible. Now, keep in mind, will the green line be way up here? Right now, it's at 38K. The green line is falling, and it's falling quickly because we're in a bear market and price is way down here and the moving average is way up here. It will fall drastically by the time November comes. Just look at this trajectory here, right? We had this cross here, prices were down here, and even while price was rallying, it was still falling. It's the 50-week. So it takes some time for price action to catch up. But how about in 2015? You can see we had the cross here and price was pretty stagnant. We were pretty much bouncing in this channel, and it still was dropping tremendously fast, right? So could Bitcoin not rally up to 38K? What's more realistic is if it falls kind of at this trajectory until the November area, I mean, we could be looking at roughly 30K. So would it be out of the question for Bitcoin to be up around 30K around November? According to this chart, it's a possibility. Now, what's interesting is when you take into factor the second data point. And we have to really understand the second data point here and see, again, if there's similarities between this data point and this data point, and then we can apply this. And don't worry, we're going to get to this chart here in a moment because there's some major things happening as well as this chart. But first, we will proceed with this one. I do want to say that recently there's been a very large drop in prices. Our trade alerts were all over this move. And right now you can get those trade alerts absolutely free. You heard that right, free. Nothing is free these days, but I believe in free. Go to cryptocrewuniversity.com and get these alerts for free so you can start making a lot more money with your trades. 7 days for free, cryptocrewuniversity.com. Go right here, plug in this information, and have it at your fingertips straight away. Now, I want to get back to the chart, okay? Where we were with this here. We're going to cover this data point from 2019 and compare it to this data point from 2016. What we can see clear as day in front of us, this 2016 data point, when we crossed up, price action was holding support on this red line and the bull run was in full force. In fact, we can say that this was potentially the start of an official bull run, meaning we came up here, we started confirming as support both on the green and the red, and we were off to the races. That's 2016. Let's see what 2019 has in store. When we had this cross up in 2019, price action, yes, was above the red, it was above the green, but as we crossed, we started showing some signs of turmoil, right? We did not cross and hold support with the red and the green. We showed signs of distress. This was potentially foreshadowing of what was coming. So it's one to say that, hey, when we have this cross up, pay attention to price action. Where is price action? Is it more similar to 2016 where we're holding clear cut support on the red line, clear cut support on the green line? Or is it in shambles like in 2019 where we had this cross up and there was clear foreshadowing in the market that there was some turmoil coming? And you can see the COVID crash happened after that. That's what we need to see. Another thing to gauge is like, well, how far of a time in between here, right? We can take a little measured move from 2016 or from 2015 to this cross here. It's about 400 days. And then the second time that this happened was about 300 days. So potentially, maybe we'll see another cross up in roughly 200 days. And again, we only have two data points. One is at 400, one is at 300. We can average them and maybe it's 350. Or we can say that maybe there's a trend here. Maybe they're happening faster and maybe this one will be 200. Let's just say roughly 200 days just to get an idea of where that would take us. So by March next year, maybe we have officially started a bull run, potentially, right? So let's start to understand that. We'll unpack it pound for pound, but I need to show you this chart here. Several months ago, we identified 19.5 as the main level. It's not 20K. I know a lot of people in the markets wanted to say 20K was the main level, but the facts are the facts, right? You can see right here, these two bodies of the candle here were a major telltale sign which lined up to the previous all-time high. 19.5 was the level. And for month after month after month, this level proved to be the level, all right? And we said time after time, if we hold this as support, the bull run will start sooner rather than later. If we break this level, we will fall to the next logical level, which is 13.7K. This is a level that we brought up as early as January or February this year as a potential opportunity, and everyone said that we were absolutely crazy. Now, on planet Earth, everyone is calling for this or lower. Back when we pointed out this number, we got tons of messages that say that just we're absolutely crazy. But the facts are the facts. What we do on this channel is we just cover the facts. We don't cover what you want to hear or where you hope to hear or what you want me to tell you. I cover precisely the facts. I look at the chart, I read it to you like a book. And the book is saying 13.7K has always been the most strongest level in Bitcoin's entire history. Period. End of discussion. It's not up for debate. It's no debate. There is literally no debate. 13.7 is the strongest level. Look at the bodies here. Look at these wicks here. Look at these bodies here. It's not up for debate. There's more touch points here than any other level. 13.7 is the main level. Now, could we drop to that? We will drop to that if we close a body below here. This is a monthly chart. Time will tell. We still have some time, but again, 13.7, we can't take it off the table yet. We need to base it on facts in the charts, and it's clear now that we're having some trouble, but maybe a couple of weeks from now, this will turn into a wick and our body will be up here. Time will tell. Now, one last chart to get to, and then I'm going to give my honest opinion. What do I think is happening right now? Is the bottom in? Is it not in? Have we moved from our stance that the bottom was in? We'll get to that in a moment. Now, this chart here, right? Weekly chart. We've got our histogram down here, which is still green. If you remember our previous video, we were just starting our first green histogram and we're on already our 5th. So that's a good sign. And our MACD has not crossed back down. We still have blue on top, which is a good sign, with green histogram, which is a good sign. We want to keep that going. This will be very critical. If Bitcoin can keep a green histogram, we're looking really good. Really, really good. If this changes back to red, we are showing major signs of weakness. Right now, still strength. So that's a good point for the bulls. Now let's get to the summary. We showed some charts in the previous video with some dangerous charts, which, make no mistake, these are quite dangerous. What we want to talk about now is what's happening with Bitcoin. Is the bottom in? Is the bottom not in? Now, we ran polls, and a lot of people have ran some polls back when we bottomed here. And it was about 80%, 85% said the bottom was not in. And the high majority since then have always called that the bottom is not in. For the whole past 80 days on every poll, it's always, including just recently, we ran a poll the other day. You can follow us on Twitter, which we asked, hey, are we going to close below 19.5? Is it going to be bearish? And the high majority say yes. So again, poll after poll after poll throughout the past 80 days, everybody has said the bottom was not in. I like to be on the other side of the fence in life, in every aspect of life. Whenever everybody's going right, I'm the idiot that's going left. I want to know what's down that path on the left that everyone said, don't go down there. It could be crazy. Everyone's going to the right side. I'm going to the left. I don't care what everybody else is doing. I want to do it my way. Regardless of that position that I have on life, I like to go based on the facts in the charts. The facts in the charts when we got to 75 were clear cut. Bottom was in. Now, since then, these charts that are bearish have had a stronger position. They've gained momentum during that period of the past 80 days. But in my opinion, this is a very unpopular opinion, but I have not moved from my stance that the bottom is in. I think there is a little bit of a stronger case that the bottom is in, although there's some charts that are happening right now that could change that. If there's facts that come in that are clearly stronger, I will change my position based on the facts in the charts, even though I like to go down my own path. But I would guess, well, I won't go down that road. What I'll say now is that I think there's a little bit of a stronger case than the bottom is in. There are some charts that make me relatively nervous, but there's still a stronger case that the bottom is in, and the bearish case is gaining momentum, and we'll have to gauge and see. But what is undeniable is that Bitcoin right now is at one of the 5 best buying opportunities of our life. We cannot debate that. That is not up for debate. One of the 5 best buying opportunities of our life. We're in the golden zone. We've only been there 3 other times. This is the 4th time in our life that we've been in the golden zone with the RSI, which is the relative strength index, which tells you the selling pressure is at the highest level Bitcoin has ever had in history. This is not deniable. You can't argue that. These are just facts. Bitcoin is the most heavily sold right now than its entire history. It's never been this much. Everybody's selling. Everybody. So take that into consideration. It's loud and clear. Bitcoin is at one of the 5 best buying opportunities of our life. It's a little bit silly to debate whether the bottom is in when we're at one of the 5 best buying opportunities of Bitcoin's entire life. That is where I'll rest my case. More to come. Hit that subscribe button. I'll see you right back here in the next video. Do you want to know when to buy and when to sell? Click this video right now.